Many of you guys watching this have probably heard of Shopify dropshipping and are just wondering how to actually do it. And I understand you. Dropshipping is one of those business models where every 19-year-old in a Lamborghini rental is telling you how you can make thousands of dollars a month while traveling from your laptop. And well, that's kind of true. But let's be real for a second. There's an absolute tsunami of people who just made like $500 last month and suddenly think that they're the Wolf of Wall Street. Now they're making YouTube tutorials and selling courses. These people have no business sharing information on dropshipping and Shopify, and it leaves most of you completely lost. And if you do decide to take their advice, now you're left with a bunch of money lost or a store that pays you less than if you would have just gotten a job at McDonald's. That's why I feel like it's my job to destroy all of these gurus and show you exactly how to start your very own dropshipping business right here, right now. And the best part is that it's completely free. I've been dropshipping all the way since 2020 and documented my process, making over $4.2 million in the last 5 years. So it's safe to say I know a thing or two about this stuff. It's not like I just had my first $100 revenue day, rushed to Best Buy to get a camera, and now making tutorials. I've been in the trenches with you guys. So let's get into it. All right, so getting right into this, I'm gonna try to make this the most in-depth dropshipping course on all of YouTube. So if you guys wanna retain as much information from this, and if you wanna be able to actually apply the things that I'm teaching you, highly suggest you pull up either a notebook, your notes app, or your Notion. That way you're able to take notes on everything that I say. You can actually benefit from it because I'm gonna be packing a lot of information into a relatively short video. So going to go ahead and break down our agenda. So obviously if we think about dropshipping, what does it take? Obviously first, you need to find a product. That's first. You need to find a product that can actually be sold. 2, we need to make a store. 3, create ads. And 4, we need to market, store. And this last step here is when we actually start to see sales come in. So firstly, getting on to finding a product. First off, what makes a product go viral? What makes a winner? All right, obviously we want a winning product. First of all, to find a winning product, your first criteria is going to be market value / demand. 2, we're going to touch on saturation. 3, we're going to touch on ability. 4, we're going to touch on wow factor. 5 is price. And 6 is, what is 6 going to be? Scalability. So these are 6 criteria that you need for a winning product. And if your product doesn't have all 6 of these, it's going to be really, really hard for you to actually successfully have a winning product that can scale as big as we want it to, okay? So first of all, what market demand actually means is that there is actual demand for your product or something like it in the market. You know, I always tell my students, never be the first to bring a product to the market. You know, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. You don't want to have to create new creatives from scratch and test completely brand new content strategies on a product that's never been ran, because you're going to have a really hard time scaling a product that is brand new, because now there's nothing to base off of. There's no competitors. You can see how it's done in the past. You don't know how it's going to resonate with an audience. And this is where you get stuck in a trap of wasting 4 or 5 days building out an entire store, ads, marketing campaigns, just to not get any customers. So market demand. What you want here is your product to be currently going viral on TikTok. And I'll show you guys how to do this in a bit. So you want to make sure your product is currently going viral and actually getting sales. So it needs to be something that is working. But there's a fine, thin line between market value and saturation. You want to make sure your product is not saturated. You know, Saturation basically means that it is overpopulated and oversaturated in the market. Obviously, if there's 3, 4, 5, even 10 people that have posted about your product in the last year and it's gone viral, it's got a lot of views, that's going to have demand. But if there's like 20 or 30 different people promoting your product and it's been going viral for years on end, and there's so many different people selling it on TikTok Shop, on Facebook, AliExpress has 50,000 orders, it's not even going to be worth your time trying to sell it. So make sure you focus on it not being saturated. It cannot be oversaturated. It needs to be somewhat, seasoned in the market, but saturation is a different thing. Availability means that your supplier can supply your product at scale. So you want your supplier to be able to handle scale. If your store blows up, as we're all hoping that it does, and let's say you were to get 1,000 orders in your first week, can these be supplied by your supplier at scale? Now, whether you're using AliExpress, if you're using Zendrop, if you're using AutoDS, can your supplier reliably ship out your product without sudden failures to ship, without sudden price increases, without dealing with quality control and switching different colors about the product and all that? You want to make sure your availability is set and situated before you start selling, because that's the last thing you want. A little story I have for you guys is my first ever big winning store. Obviously, I had never had real success with e-com before, and as soon as the store was blowing up, I went from making like $50 to $100 a day to making $3,000, $4,000 a day within just weeks. And I was still supplying from the same auto shipment supplier from AliExpress. It was called Oberlo at the time. So I was just ordering from an AliExpress supplier that had no real reviews, no real ratings, no real, vetting in the industry. And I ended up waiting like a week and a half so I could keep reinvesting into ads, stacking up I think it was like 600 orders. It was like $25,000 that worth of orders to fulfill. I made like 50 grand from that. And so $50,000 in sales, I go to fulfill the orders, and then weeks go on with the store. Sales coming in, eventually to the point where I had 2,000 orders and over $100,000 in payments, and none of those orders got shipped. None of them. So I pretty much got scammed, and either I had two options. I could refund all my customers and lose $100,000 at this point, which I'd already reinvested a lot of the profits into ads and more supply. So that wasn't an option. I didn't have any extra money. Or I could use a different supplier, which is what I went through. My COGS were doubled, and I ended up losing. I was like negative $4,000 off of $100,000 in sales. So I basically spent $4,000 out of my own pocket of all the money I had saved up from all my other stores and my other weeks of profit to fulfill $100,000 in orders from a store that I thought was my big break. So you guys do not want that. I'm not gonna, yap too much about this, but availability is a lot more important than you might think. Next, wow factor. Can you shock your customers? Basically, a wow factor needs to be something, it's kind of like a scroll stopper. If you're scrolling on TikTok, let's say you're scrolling on TikTok, you're there to be entertained. You're not there to buy products. If you see a random product that you could buy every day at Walmart, a dog leash, let's say someone's showing a dog leash in a video, the chances of you scrolling past that video and not even giving it a second of your time is really high. So, if your product doesn't have this wow factor, it is not going to perform. People aren't going to stop, and you're going to be spending a ton of money on ads. You're not going to get clicks. You're not going to get conversions because nobody is stopping in their tracks to buy your product. So it needs to either be, a super big wow factor. It needs to be something like, holy shit, I need that product, or it needs to be problem solving. If you can have a product that actually adds value to somebody's life and actually solves a problem within their life or within their daily routines, that is going to give you the best results within e-commerce. So, wow factor, I'll go ahead and add this in here, or problem solving. Next is pricing. Basically, the rule of thumb that I like to go by is you want at least to a starting range of 50 to 70% profit margins on anything you sell, because your cost of acquisition, especially starting off with Facebook or TikTok ads, is going to be high. And if you're not able to make a profit off of your pricing, that's an issue. You want to be able to make at least 50 to 70% profit starting range. That way, if you have like a $20, $30, $40, $50 cost per acquisition, you're still profitable and can still scale your budget without losing money. Pricing is honestly probably the biggest mistake people have. It's not the products, it's not their websites, it's how they price their products and what their perceived value is. So when you sell a product, that's another thing you need to focus on, is making sure that it has a high perceived value. If you're buying a product and your cost of acquisition to ship it to a customer is $10, but on Amazon or in the eye of the customer, it's only worth $15 or $20, you can realistically only sell that for a $5, $10 profit. So if you're spending $20 to get a customer on Facebook ads, you're negative $10. So that's going to be a big thing. You want to make sure the product you're selling, if you're buying it for $5, $10, it needs to have a perceived value of $30 to $35. And that's hard to do. And that's where building an irresistible offer comes in. You want to have a great offer, and whether that's a free gift included with every order, if it's an ebook, if it's a bundle pack to where they're getting an all-in-one solution, if it's valuable upsells, shipping protection, however you can get that perceived value and your average order value up, that is where you're going to actually see profit. Next, scalability. Basically, most products are scalable if they're a winner, but this is just referring to like seasonals, or if I could even spell that right. Seasonal products. If you're selling a product that's like Christmas related, Valentine's, Mother's Day, obviously it's not scalable. As soon as the month ends, you're pretty much out of business. So that's something you want to make sure you're not selling in something that's like strictly summer related, strictly winter related. Not ideal, because you're not going to be able to scale that. Your sales are going to drop drastically after your months of prime, so-called. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take everything I just said, all of this criteria, and apply it to actually finding a winning product. So first, we're going to pull up a few websites here. We're going to pull up AliExpress, and we're going to pull up a website called Calodata. Basically, if you guys want to know the best way to actually get real results fast with dropshipping, not the best of all time, not the most strategic, it's just what I use and what's gotten me the best results throughout my journey is using websites like Calodata or FastMoss and taking products that are on TikTok Shop. Basically what Calodata does is allows you to see live revenue data and all the information of TikTok Shop products. As you guys know, TikTok Shop is the biggest marketplace for online products right now besides Amazon. So if you can find products that are crushing on TikTok Shop, migrate those over to Facebook ads, to a new market, someone who can't buy on TikTok Shop, whether they're scrolling on Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, Facebook Marketplace, they can't see products that are on TikTok Shop. So if we take those successful products on TikTok and move them to Facebook, you'll be able to see some pretty great results. At least I have. So this is Calodata. Basically, what I like to do when I'm finding a product is if I see something that I think could be a winner just off the top of my head, I'm just going to open that in a new tab. I don't want to, inspect it right now. I just want to look through all the products and see if there's anything immediately that catches my eye. Well, I have to sign up for Calodata actually, so I am not going to put my information on there. So we will just use that one for now and then just scroll on AliExpress, doing the same thing. Now, if you find a product on AliExpress, that doesn't mean you have to sell it or fulfill it from AliExpress. That just means you can find a product and get it sourced elsewhere. We just use AliExpress because they have, the biggest product marketplace. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up a bunch of new products to new tabs, as I said before, and then we'll go through and audit them in a second and compare to my criteria. So now let's go ahead and open up some of these products. So first off, right off the bat, okay, I hate this Dollar Express bullshit. We'll move on. First product that caught my eye here was red light mask. If you guys are on TikTok, if you're on social media, you know, these products, these red light therapy devices are going pretty viral right now, getting a lot of hype. And it has like a neck mask and a face mask. It's supposed to help with like anti-wrinkles, face repair, anti-acne. Probably says all the benefits in here somewhere. I guess not. They're not really doing great marketing. Oh, it does say skin repair, remove bacteria, remove acne, lighten spots, repair scars, improve wrinkles, promote metabolism. So these are some good angles. This is overall a good product. The one thing that's making it a little bit difficult for me to sell this is $25 flat cost plus a $12 shipping charge. So that's going to be a little bit hard to sell profitably because I think the max I could sell this product for is like 50. And at that point, it's only giving me about like a 35-40% profit margin, which I'm not a big fan of. So for that reason, I'm out. I sound like Shark Tank right there. Moving on, red light therapy. I'm telling you guys, red light is going crazy viral right now. I don't know what this would do. Personally, this probably wouldn't catch my attention for a nose device, sinus relief. Honestly, I can tell you this is probably a gimmick. I know it's a gimmick. Red light in the nose is probably not going to replace or repair your sinuses. So I'm going to cut that one as well. Now this product, I actually saw this earlier today when I was looking through products this morning. You know, I think it's a good product, but this is something that I think you would want to sell on organic or TikTok shop because, you know, it's beer covers. You know, people would want to take their drinks into like whether it's a golf game, a concert, a movie theater. And they'd be able to do that where it's not usually permitted, some type of unethical type of deal. But as you can see, you know, looks pretty realistic, makes the drinks look like a Coke when it's actually a beer. Good product, good idea. I just don't think ads would make this product go viral because like the thing with ads, like organic, you can have product like this. Like this has a wow factor. This is interesting. This is cool. Something people usually don't see every day, but it doesn't solve a major problem. Like, you know, yeah, if you can't get your beer into a concert, that might be a problem for some people. But realistically, you know, this isn't going to be a huge problem solving product. So I don't think for the price this is at, you'd be able to have pretty good margins off of this with ads. If you guys are interested in, you know, organic, this could be a great product. But I'm personally going to drop this one because I stick to Facebook ads now. Although organic isn't out of the question. You know, I've done millions of dollars with organic drop shipping alone. But I'm not going to cover that one. You know, this is another product I've seen for a little while. Red light therapy, cupping therapy. What makes me know this is a great product is the fact that I've actually almost bought one of these myself before. It's a great product. It's a great idea. The only issue with this is it's pretty saturated. I've seen this on TikTok for months. I will go ahead and validate this one and check it just in case. I might be wrong. I just know from how many times I've seen this is probably a saturated product. Although it is a great offer, you know, like a less than $20 total COGS, where you could sell this for $45 and probably get decent margins. So, you know, I'll keep that one here for now. Wireless hair comb, I'm not a fan of that. I liked the one on Calidata more. Hair thread removal, margins aren't thick enough. This product, though, it's a negative ion hairbrush. Now, you know, if you're one of my students, I actually did audit this product a bit in my course. So if you guys are interested in, you know, watching my course, there's a link below in this video, and you can see exactly why I think this is a great product for what it is. Basically, we can go ahead and look at this product right now. It is a negative ion hairbrush. So basically what it does is it like removes blowouts and creates a voluptuous style. I'm not obviously, a hair fanatic. It just looks like it's supposed to make your hair more silky, more clean. It leaves your hair smooth and frizz-free, salon fresh. Great reviews on this product. Almost 1 million units sold. Whoa. So if we do the math on that, $45 times 800,000. That is a lot of money right there. That is $36 million this TikTok Shop product has done. And it doesn't look like they've been out for that long. So the earliest recorded date is October 2023. I mean, I guess it's a pretty long time. It's been almost 2 years. But at the same time, that is not long for a big brand. I've never seen this product, and I've been in the beauty niche for 4 years now. And I think this could be, a really good product. It's negative ion. When you think that, it doesn't really like spark something like, oh, I know exactly what that does. So it has the wow factor there. It's new, it's unique, it's kind of sparking some interest. Pricing is good, $45. I'm sure on TikTok. I searched this earlier. We could get something just like it for $20, $10, and then even a small one, portable one, $25. Sell it for $50, $60 even, and have great margins on this. And like I was saying, it has that good wow factor to where it's something new. Negative ion's a new word you haven't heard too much. It's got good pricing, but it also solves a problem. Removes the frizz, makes your hair look more silky, uses, negative ion technology, which who knows how gimmicky that is. But either way, it does fulfill most of our criteria here. Market value, if we want to go ahead and check this, let's just head over to TikTok and search up, oh, look, it's me. That's crazy. Give myself a like right there. Let's just search up negative ion hairbrush. Look at top videos. 3 million likes, 57K, 684. Let's sort by videos. If we just scroll through this briefly, as you can see, there's not a lot of really viral content. I'm seeing 65 likes, 1,000, but these top videos here, they're promoting Wavy Talk, eligible for commission. This person probably earned 50 grand. Oh wait, that's not the one with 3 million likes. Eligible for commission again, 3 million likes. They probably earned $50,000 to $60,000 in pure commission off of selling this product. So clearly we can test and see here that this product does have, I wasn't even showing the screen. I was looking at the TikTok videos, by the way. This is what I meant. But basically, if this is going to stop playing here, God. What I mean is that, it has the market value. On TikTok, we're able to see that it's going viral, and it is a viral product. That video with 3 million likes was only posted less than a year ago. So if we take that product that is, going super viral on Facebook, or TikTok Shop, it's done $36 million in sales in sub 2 years. If we migrate this to Facebook ads, even if we can just take 10% of the market value of this, that's $3.6 million in sales. $3.6 million in sales by taking 10%. And I'm just going to say it right now. There is more than 10% of the market value on Facebook than this product is on TikTok. So with that being said, you guys can see, get an idea of how powerful this TikTok Shop to Facebook migration method really is. So we went ahead and validated that product. As you can see, it's got the market value. It's not too saturated. We can check that as well. I don't want to say it's not saturated. Basically, when I check if it's saturated, obviously I want to move this product to Facebook. So I'm just going to go to all ads and search up negative ion hair. See what's rolling. Timo Beauty, different. It's a straightener. Straightener. This one's started running literally today. So that's a new product. If we search for the same exact brand, $36 results running for 1 day, less than a week, May 14th. That's different. That's picture ad. So they've been running ads for 4 days and they've done $36 million in sales. Holy shit. That's actually way better than I thought. They're only running on Instagram too. They've been only running these new ads for 7 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ads total. And they've been running for 4 days total. So if you guys think about that, this brand obviously doesn't know what they're doing on Facebook. If they're running on Instagram only, 8 ads in less than 4 days, we could take that product and completely validate it that it is not saturated at all. Availability, our AliExpress suppliers was showing that, there was more than 10,000 units available. So availability is good. Wow factor with the negative ion thing. Obviously, we're able to tell it's a great product. Pricing, there was good margins. I could get it for $10 and sell for $60. And scalability, $36 million in sales from our biggest competitor. Come on, that's extremely scalable. All right, so now we have our product selected. Definitely I'm going to go with that negative ion hairbrush. That is a great product to go with. It validates every single one of our criteria down here. You can see my entire, scribble brain dump. But now we need to move on to making a store. There's a little bit of a subsection here that I would call like 1B. And that includes like branding and media. So I'm going to go ahead and go through that really quickly and show you guys exactly how I would go about, making product photos as well as advertisements. I'm going to try to keep this, as short as possible, although it might run on a little bit, but it's for the best. So first of all, what we need to do to make product photos is find our competitor. I'm not going to try super hard, to make this the most perfect product picture of all time. So I'm just going to show you guys a brief summary of what you can do. If we can find our competitors, their site speed is extremely slow. They need to speed boost that. Wow, that's really slow. So maybe we'll just go to their TikTok shop product. Let's go with this one. I'm going to show you guys how actually easy it is. Photopea. I love Photopea. If you guys don't know what this is, basically it is a free alternative to Photoshop. So I'm going to be using all free resources throughout this video in case you don't have anything to invest. I don't want to show you guys like the most expensive ways to do anything. So I'm going to use Photopea, a free Photoshop alternative for this. Now, basically what we're going to do is I don't want to rip their product photo one for one. I want to make the product photo look good. I want to make it better. First things first, this is an issue right here. This is their brand name. I don't want to have Wavy Talk's brand name on my brand, although I'm selling the same product. So what I'm going to do is use this little tool called the patch tool. I don't know if you guys can see this actually. Yeah, it's right here on the left side, the patch tool. And all you got to do is just circle around the logo and just drag it to the side. Bang. There's a little bit of a line here. We're going to do it on the other side too. And just like that, in a few seconds, we will no longer have the Wavy Talk logo on my hairbrush. There you go. Clean now. Now we're going to go ahead and remove some of this media over here on the right side, because I want my product to be front and center. Because I'm not personally a fan of their product page. You just use that tool. It's literally, there's nothing else to it except dragging and dropping. And it's literally now invisible. As you can see, there is now nothing. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and do a little crop over the product that I'm borrowing, and just copy, Command C, Command V, and drag it to the center. Now, as you can see here, we are dealing with a little bit of an overlay. Not too much to fix. Going to take the background layer, use the dropper tool here on the left, select the color, and then use the brush tool and just brush it away. And as you guys can see, there's some lines like right here, some things that don't look perfect. All you're going to do, well, maybe not that. Okay, so it's blocking it. So then we're going to take both layers, convert them to a smart object, then rasterize them, then use our little patch tool, grab it, and move. I see some, I'm not sure if you guys can see it on the video, there's a little bit of you can see brush marks because it's not exactly the same color. So all we're going to do is just drag and drop. Anywhere you see any little bit of impurities or imperfections, it will seamlessly blend it. I see some down here too. Just anywhere that's bothering you. Like this line here is pretty harsh. This is probably the best tool on Photoshop, Photopea, whatever you're using. I'm not going to go too in depth with that. I don't want to waste all your time. But then, this would be a product picture right there. But if we look closely, it is not perfectly clean. Like there is pixels on there. Like it doesn't look great unless you look at it from far away. Which, you could totally get away with this product picture. But I am going to go a step further because I guess I'm showing you guys exactly what I'm doing here. So then next I go to Remini.ai. Once again, a free tool. Take the file you just downloaded and drag it in there. And what this is it is an AI upscaler. And that is going to make your product look way better, way more clean using AI. Cool. Let's go ahead and give you guys, the real details. Let's get real detail with it. As you can see right here, if we look real closely, there's a lot of blur, a lot of, pixels. It's very pixelated close up. We drag to after. You guys gotta be able to see that difference. That is a night and day difference. It looks even the colors, like at the top, like here, look way more vibrant. Yeah, like it all just looks way better. Then we're gonna download that. Now there is our product photo. Looking great, perfectly clean, super vibrant. Looks better than Wavy Talks or whatever. I don't even like their brand name, Then we're gonna go ahead and go to a Canva. I'm not gonna go over this in this video. Canva, I would just make a quick logo. I'll just write out my brand name. I'd go boom, boom, boom. change half the color, whatever. There's a full in-depth logo making course inside my course if you guys are interested in watching that. But I want to move on to creating ads, which was the next step on our list. So ads, let me move this to the face cam so I don't show any confidential info here. You know, let's go ahead and make a 1080-1920. I'll show you guys this. Basically, I use Final Cut. Or I think it's like 20 or 1080. 60 pixels. I use Final. Well, okay, that is not that. I was right. I use Final Cut Pro for editing. For you guys, I would recommend CapCut. It is a free alternative. I'm just not good at CapCut, so I'm not going to use that for this course. But basically, you're going to make a vertical video just like this. And what we're going to do here is go ahead back to TikTok, or wherever TikTok is. And we're gonna find the most viral videos.
Testing random side hustles.
That's what I mean.
Money we can make.
It's me.
So someone on the internet said you can walk into Walmart, get some bread, some laxatives, a rag, Ziploc bag, and a bucket. Then you can put the bread and the laxatives.
So let's find, you know, the most viral videos about our product that actually show how it works.
My hair with me. My family's supposed to be here in approximately 11 minutes, so I really gotta hurry. I'm using the Wavy Talk Negative Ion Thermal Brush. Also on sale right now for Black Friday. This brush hair.
So that's a great video. Shows exactly how it works. Shows the before and after results. So copy those links and go ahead and drop them into Snaptic. And what that's going to do is it's going to download that video without watermark. Beautiful. I can't believe their website still hasn't loaded. That is crazy.
Blow up my hair with me. This is the Wavy Talk Negative Ion Thermal Brush. Ready? Feet at all. Makes this brush
that is
so
showing
good.
The text throughout the whole video. No.
I don't know how this happened, but we're gonna fix it. Just give it 30 seconds, it heats up.
There we go. That is a great hook. So find, you know, big results, big hooks, and download them. You should only need 1 to 2 videos. We're just borrowing these, right? And then I want to go to a tool called 11 Labs. This is where you create a AI generated voiceover. I use this person. If you guys are interested in what I use specifically, basically you're going to make a script. I have, you know, kind of like a template that I use that's been working for me, and it just makes it work pretty well. So I'm just going to say, you know, everybody's been raving about this negative ion hairbrush. Now, I don't have a brand name for this, but if you did, you would say something like by Wavy Talk, whatever. I'm just gonna say, everybody raving about this negative hairbrush. It uses, what does it use? 1 second. Let's open up ChatGPT. Oops. And say, what does the Wavy Talk Negative Ion hairbrush actually do, and what makes it beneficial? Let's just learn a little bit about this product for a second. Negative ions interact probably charged ions. There we go. Let's reword this a little bit. Whoa. It uses about this. Let's say anti-frizz hairbrush. It emits negative ions that interact with positive ions in your dry or damaged hair. Which reduces moisture loss minimizes static electricity and reduce annoying frizz. This is the only thing that worked for my annoying frizzy hair. Here's, well, it's still 50% off. Something simple like this. Basically, I'm having a good hook with that video, explain what it does and how it works, further enticing that wow factor, and then I have a call to action here. Get yours while it's still 50% off. I'm going to generate that.
Everybody's been raving about this anti-frizz hairbrush. It emits negative ions that interact with positive ions in your dry or damaged hair, which reduces moisture loss, minimizes static electricity, and reduces annoying frizz. Everybody's been raving about this anti-frizz hairbrush. It emits negative ions that interact with positive ones in your dry or damaged hair, which reduces moisture loss, minimizes static
So then we download that. What we're going to do is take those two videos that I've just downloaded, drag them both in, as well as that 11 Labs voiceover. What we're going to do here is speed this voiceover up to 115. That is the method. 115% speed. If it'll let me do it. Here we go. Then we'll find our hook piece.
I don't know how this happened, but I don't know.
That is weird. So let's start this hook off.
I don't know how this happened, but we're gonna fix it.
Bam. Hook. And then voiceover.
Fix it.
Everybody's been raving about this anti-frizz hairbrush. It emits negative ions.
And then let's find usage clips. Oops.
Everybody's been raving about this anti-frizz hairbrush.
I'm going to make a really bad ad here, so just bear with me. I don't want to waste too much of your time here.
Everybody's been raving about this anti-frizz hairbrush.
Every sentence, like change of tone or pause, I cut, and then I switch to a new clip. I like that, but I think that's better for later. Let's
It emits negative ions that interact with static. It emits negative ions that hairbrush. It emits negative ions that interact with positive ones in your dry or damaged hair. Which reduces moisture loss. Which reduces moisture loss. Moisture loss. Minimizes loss.
new clips.
Minimizes static electricity. Reduces annoying frizz.
And then we'll switch to some results. Back to the original. Let's find us some results. Come on, get me right. There we go.
frizz. This is the only thing that worked for my annoying frizzy hair. Get yours while it's still 50% off.
There we go. Now we have a base. You know, cut out some of the pauses.
Frizzy hair. Get yours while it's still 50% off.
Cut out the back end.
Hair. Or damaged hair, which reduces moisture loss. Minimize.
I don't know how this happened, but we're gonna fix it.
Everybody's been raving about this anti-frizz.
So basically what we're going to do here is, don't want to show you guys too deep into my abyss of files. Basically what I'm going to do is just pull out a sound effect. I can show you now. This is a whoosh sound effect that I'm going to place conveniently.
Fix it.
Everybody's
just like that.
Gotta fix it.
Everybody's been raving about this.
So now you can see like it's like a whoosh, like a great sound effect. Now we're going to take Tate McRae, classic for TikTok shop videos. Drop it right at the peak, about -20.
Everybody's been raving about this anti-frizz hairbrush. Everybody's been raving about this
I might do it on the beat drop, low key.
Positive ones.
I think that will feel, you know, the most natural, the most hype about the negative ion hairbrush. And now, let's give her a watch through.
I don't know how this happened, but we're gonna fix it.
Everybody's been raving about this anti-frizz hairbrush. It emits negative ions that interact with positive ones in your...
I think the audio might be down a little too much. I'll play it back for you, don't worry. Watch my masterpiece.
I don't know how this happened, but we're gonna fix it.
Everybody's been raving about this anti-frizz hairbrush. It emits negative ions that interact with positive ones in your dry or damaged hair, which reduces moisture loss, minimizes static electricity, and reduces annoying frizz. This is the only thing that worked for my annoying frizzy hair. Get yours while it's still 50% off.
There you go. That is, you know, the gist of making a Facebook ad. That was honestly a pretty good ad. The next step from there of what you want to do is go ahead and add captions. So you would add a text going across the whole thing, add the words they're saying, cut it, add the next ones just so it stops and cuts, and live captions for what they're saying. Keeps people engaged and gives them a point of focus of what to look at. And it's helped my hook rate and hold rate significantly on Facebook ads. So now that you know how to find a good product, now you know how to make good product photos and upscale them, you know how to make good ads. The last thing for you to do is make a Shopify store. Now, I'm going to give you guys some harsh criteria here for how to make a great Shopify store because, you know, I've coached a lot of students over the last few years. And I am going to say that the biggest thing that I always have to critique people on is their store. So let's go ahead and give you guys a store framework. Your store framework. First, biggest thing is one product. Don't try to test a million different products. Don't do it. This is something that I see way too many people doing, is trying to test 3, 4, 5 different products at once. I'm going to break it down for you guys just how I did for, you know, some of my students. Let's think of it like this. This is your winner. This is your banger product. Now, what skills do you have to actually master? You know, you have to master ads. Whoa, not ads. Ads. You have to build a website, or in our case, product page. You have to manage, you know, your supplier. You have to manage creatives, scale. It's a lot of skills. And as you can see, all of these skills are very neatly associated with that one product. So you can run your creatives, make your creatives, test consistently. You can make sure your supplier has this product, very easy. Make one really good product page, make your ads, and then scale for that one product. But if you're running a general store, you have like, let's say 5 products, maybe even more, maybe even 10, 20 products, who knows? Now you have to take all your skills, websites, supplier, creatives, scale. You have to make ads for this one, all of those. You have to make a product page that takes a lot of time for this one. You have to manage your supplier for this product, this one, this one, this one, this one. You have to be constantly testing new creatives and new angles for this one, and then manage scale and manage advertising for this one, maybe even more. Take a look. Which one looks more clean? This, I don't even know what's going on. That looks crazy. That's a lot of thoughts and a lot of time. Where on this one product, if your ads aren't working, go over here, make 2 new ones. Really easy, takes like an hour max, and then implement them. If your website isn't converting, add an upsell and then add it in. If your supplier runs out, find a new supplier. Test new creatives. Scale is going to be easy because it's one product. But this, God forbid, your ads aren't converting. You're going to have to make 3, 6, 9, 12, 16, 15 creatives for new products to test, because you don't want to test a product with less than like 5. So 1 product in your store. Make sure 2 max colors. A big mistake I see with a lot of students as well is they'll have a store and it's like the header's orange, the buttons are pink, the sales logos are red, and it literally looks like a child made the store. You don't want it to look like the website for Toys R Us. You want it to look like a professional brand. So you want to have 2 colors max. And that's why I suggest your logo, make it clean and simple, just 1 or 2 colors. Make your header pink, make your background white, make the text black. Make the product photo green, the product photos pink, make the buttons pink. So now it's just pink, white, and black. It's going to look really seamless. It's going to look very luxury, and it's going to match your product. So 2 colors maximum. And now this is your layout. If you guys really want to help on how to create, a beautiful store that is inside my course, that is a very long video, so I'm not gonna, bore you guys with that right now. But if you're interested, there is a link in the description for that course. Your layout, how your store is gonna look though, is basically going to be product photos, and the rest of them are gonna be on the bottom. You do not want, like sometimes Shopify, they have photos like that. I don't like that at all. It needs to be just like this. This is the top of the page. Product photo is there. You're going to have a little announcement bar here. You could say like free gift or 50% off. That's your announcement bar. Then on this side, right on the top right of the product photo is going to be your review stars. 5 stars, whether you could say like 1K views. Just like that. And then this is going to be title, main and big. And then here are going to be some benefit checkpoints. I'll zoom in. Some benefits. Instead of checkboxes, use emojis. It'll look way cleaner for your website. And then after that, okay, so this is kind of like, let's make this a little bit easier to follow. Okay, product photo, reviews, benefits, just like that. And then here is going to be your offer section. Your offer can take up a little bit of this or a lot of this. If you're selling an all-in-one solution, you'd have your product here, and then plus, product here, and plus, product here with the total price like this, and then buy button goes here. This is how that looks, okay? Product photos down here. This is how your main offer section. Oh, shoot. You're not taking calls right now, buddy. You're gonna have some bars there. Under that, here you're gonna have, some shipping. Oh, I'll have to draw a truck here. You could say like, get Monday. Some shipping checkpoints there. Then under that, you could have some testimonials saying, I love it. Whoa. And then down here, some FAQs. You don't want to do more than 3 FAQs. I would do some bigger testimonials here with like profile pictures, reviews. And then here is going to be proof of concept. Proof of how it works. This would usually be formatted as TikTok videos. And this would be videos people can actually play and see how the product works themselves from your customers. After that, you could do some comparisons. You could do like a GIF with some text. And then down here is going to be reviews. And that is going to be as many reviews as you can possibly import from AliExpress are going to be here. So that is the main formula for your store. Like I said, if you want me to go through this and actually build one and show you how I do it, that will be inside my full course, which you can check out in the description. But that is the main formula for how to get a website store to convert for one product pages, especially for this niche. Now, before I end this off, guys, I just want to say that if you need any more help regarding dropshipping, if you want to work with me one-on-one, if you want actual help and true guidance, getting to where you want to be in your journey, there's a few links in the description where you can 1, watch my full course, 2, get on calls with me and my team and actually get help one-on-one and get things done for you in this business. Now, I'm not here to try to sell you on a dream. I'm not here to try to, give you results that can't be promised like these other course sellers. I don't want to be someone known as just selling a course. I've done this business for 3, 4, 5 years at this point, and I've been profitable for over 3 years with dropshipping. I've been in the game for a long time. I know what works and what doesn't work, and I'm actually currently running a store. This is what separates me from other dropshipping gurus. There's a lot of people out there who try to sell a course who maybe had one profitable store in the peak of dropshipping in 2020 and 2021, and now we're here, getting hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube even, and selling a course, selling a program, selling mentorship, and they don't actually deliver the results that they promise. See, I'm not here to promise you results. I'm not here to say, you can work with me right now. This is a funnel. You can click the links in the description, get one-on-one training. That's not what this is about. I'm not here to try to tell you if you join my program, you're going to see your first $10,000 month next month. Now, that is possible, and it has happened with other people, and it's not to say that you won't be one of those people that, see real results really quickly. But what I'm here to do is teach you about the business. I'm not going to sell you results. I'm not going to sell you a dream. I want to teach you how to drop ship. I want to teach you what I know, and I want to teach you the strategy that I've been working on for the past year and been teaching people and slowly implementing into my program that actually gives you actionable steps along the way from finding a product, validating that product, creating a website, creating creatives, and actually scaling that brand to eventually potentially exit your business, start new businesses yourself, or even get into an advertisement agency. These are skills that can be retained and utilized in so many different ways in your life, and I just want to help you guys get there. If you're not ready to dedicate yourself and actually learn, if you're somebody who wants things handed to you and you want, a website built for you, you want a product found for you, you want it all done where you can, invest a couple $1,000s and start seeing results immediately without doing any work, this isn't going to be for you. But if you're somebody who, sees this business online and you're meant for something more than a regular 9-to-5 job and you actually want to be successful at dropshipping, this is exactly who this program is for. And I would love to talk to you or even just get on a call and see if we'd be a good fit and see if we could work together long term. If you guys get to where you want to be. And let's talk to you guys soon. See ya.